Hi guys, welcome to CT Kayak Fishing. My name is Nick. This is my first ever YouTube episode, something I wanted to do for a long time. Let me give you a little bit of a breakdown of what I want to do in my YouTube videos. Number one, I want to take you along on my fishing adventures with me, show you where I'm going, show you how it's going, and bring you right along in the kayak with me. Number two, as a student of the sport, there's always stuff to learn in fishing. And I think that sometimes I can maybe give you a few tips or tricks that might help along the way. So why don't you come on along, I'll show you some fishing footage, and then we'll go over it at the end, alright? Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the fishing footage that I had for you this weekend. So I'll give you a little bit of a background. I was up at Lake Ashmere in Hinsdale, Massachusetts. I know, ironic. Connecticut, CT kayak fishing, first episodes in Massachusetts. Anyways, the weather was pretty crappy. It was like 40 degrees, 50 degrees with the wind blowing and raining on Saturday. Got a little nicer on Sunday. You saw that last clip. That was actually Sunday morning. Water temperature was right around 60 degrees, 55, 60, and the clarity, it was really clear. I could see 6 feet down without an issue. As promised, I'm going to go over my 2 major producers of the weekend, and let me tell you, I threw everything at them this weekend. I could not figure it out for the life of me, and I was really stumped come Saturday afternoon. You guys saw in the video, there was a lot of fishing there that I did, and I just was not picking them up. So without further ado, let me go over the 2 big producers of the weekend for you. Number 1, this big guy. I caught both of my big fish on this weekend. This is a Project Z Chatterbait by Z-Man. This is a 1/2 ounce, and this color pattern, the skirt pattern, is called Breaking Brim. I really like this one. I fish a lot of lake with brim in them, and it breaks it up from the normal, green pumpkin. I throw that one a lot, but when I want to change it up and really can't figure out what's working, I like how this one has some blue and some yellow and orange in the skirt. Match it with a good trailer, and that can really help you. I'm throwing this on a 7-foot medium heavy bait caster with a 711 reel. So fast retrieve, pretty good backbone. I throw it on a Ducket Ghost, and I use 30-pound Power Pro braid with about a 10-foot fluorocarbon leader, and I run between 14 and 17 pounds in the fluorocarbon leader. And I use the FG knot. I'm gonna make a video on the FG knot. It's the best braid to leader knot you'll ever tie. I've had so much luck with it. I haven't had any issues, and I highly recommend. It's kind of a pain to learn how to tie, but once you do, you'll love it. Anyways, back to the chatterbait. Honestly, you guys are going to learn watching my videos that the chatterbait is like one of my go-tos. From something that you can do almost anything with. I roll this thing all around the bottom. I throw it in places like a jig, and sometimes I burn it across the top. It is like a very surprising day when I don't have one of these tied on. A lot of times I'll go with a lighter one, like the normal chatterbait. If you look, this one has more of a, almost like a swim jig shaped head instead of like a round head. Throw one a little more low profile, usually smaller than a 1/2 ounce, but this weekend I was, going for the home run, I guess you could say. I like the gold blade on these. My color pattern go-tos are this, green pumpkin, a chartreuse, and a white. I try to stick with that. Sometimes I throw a black and a blue one, but that's about it for my color choice. You gotta remember, I'm on a kayak. I don't have a bass boat with 600 chatterbaits in there. I try to keep it light, keep my pattern simple. The most important thing with these chatterbaits, though, that I really want to go over is the trailer. Now, a lot of people will throw these out there without a trailer, and that's fine. You can do that. But if you really want to give your bait a lifelike appearance, I want to go over the trailer with you. So a few of the different options that I throw for a trailer are, if you want to throw something that's a little more slow presentation, you want it to look like a crawfish, you can throw something like that. I think that's made by Zoom. It's got some paddles to look like claws, and it's pretty large profile. I use that if I'm going to slow roll it across the bottom. A couple other things I use, a little double paddle tail, that'll work nice. Small flukes, those always work well. Just match the color, match the hatch. People have always said that, and I always wondered, what the hell does that mean? Anyways, it basically means you want to match the color to what you're trying to present. So if I'm trying to present a brim, this chatterbait works perfectly because it's got a little blue in it, it's got a lot of green pumpkin in it, and it's got some yellow. So if I'm going to match this up to try to be like a brim, one of the things I love to put on here is the Kitech Grow. Little 4-inch Kitech. I'm going to put it right on there for you right now. Okay. and you just slide it on. Try to measure in here how far it's going to go up the hook before you push it through, and you're just going to pop it through like that. And then if you look at it, now you have that paddle tail there, and that's just going to go back and forth while it's swimming in the water, and it gives so much action to these chatterbaits, let me tell you. I catch so many fish like this, it's not even funny. I could throw this chatterbait just like that all day and put one of these Kitech grubs on there, and it'll make the world of difference. But let me tell you what I caught him on this weekend. And this is something that I learned on YouTube last week, and I really didn't believe it until I tried it. And that is taking a 4-inch Senko. Yeah, 4-inch normal Senko. This is watermelon color. Taking it just like this. And putting it on there. And you, just like when people use a normal Senko, you're like, why the heck does that work? Well, for some reason, if you watch this thing go through the water, it moves like crazy and adds so much action to it. And both of those big fish, this is the exact presentation that they. All right, the last one I want to show you today that worked for me this past weekend, and basically all season all long, is the Swim Senko by Yamamoto. It's what it says it is. Front is Senko, and the back is a paddle tail swim bait. I hooked this presentation in 2 different ways. This one is my favorite. It's hooked on a swim bait hook. This one's a Gamakatsu 3/0, and it has the twist lock in the top. The bait keeper, I recommend that. They don't get torn up as quickly. Everyone knows soft plastics are pretty fragile. So you want to get as many fish out of them as you can. My best recommendation would be go with twist locks, or they have the ones that have the barb. I don't like those as much, but those will work too. This is a 3/0 weighted hook, and it's my favorite presentation because, as you guys could probably guess, when you reel this Senko, it's basically going to paddle along. This paddle tail is just going to work its way back and forth, and it's something you can reel a little faster, cover a little more water with. And with the weighted hook, the advantage of this as to a normal hook, like this one, I can throw it on that too. That's just the same hook without the weight or the keeper. But with the weighted hook, what you can do is you can reel this through the water column, and it's going to stay lower and get in front of the fish. The other advantage is when you throw this out there, that bait is going to nose down, and that paddle tail is just going to work its way down. And sometimes you'll catch the fish on the initial fall. You can also throw it a lot farther with the weighted swim bait hook. So I recommend going to that. But the only advantage that I'd say the normal non-weighted hook has to this hook is that a lot of times, including myself, we're limited in the amount of rods that we have. I can't have this tied on and have a Senko tied on and have every other soft plastic in the world tied on. So I kind of combined I have really one rod that I throw soft plastics on, and then I have a spinning rod for drop shots and stuff like that I bring on the kayak. But the advantage of throwing this hook, this non-weighted swim bait hook, is that I can have a Senko tied on, and if I want to do a little bit of a faster presentation to see if that's what's working, I can just swap it right out and take a normal Senko like this and swap it right out for the swim Senko. And you know, it saves a lot of time, especially trying to tie knots on the kayak. I mean, you guys are like me. Your fishing time is precious to you. You don't want to spend the whole night tying knots, and I understand that. So my recommendation would be to throw it on the weighted swim bait hook if you have confidence in the knot and you can tie it quickly. Honestly, it doesn't take that long. If you become proficient in your knots, it'll save you a lot of time. But if you're like me and sometimes just want to do a quick switch, put it on this hook. Either way, you'll have success. Other than that, color selections, I stick with a green base normally. Sometimes I'll throw a white one or a black one. This one has green fleck and purple fleck. I like red. Red fleck is probably my favorite go-to with almost any soft plastic, depending on the watercolor. And for the rod and setup that I throw this on, I throw it on a 6'9" medium action rod with a 6 to 4 to 1 reel, so a little bit slower presentation. You can put it on a 7-1-1. That'd be fine as long as you just keep yourself moving slow. The reason I throw a 6-4 with most of my soft plastics is it forces me to slow down. I've always had that problem of pulling it out of the strike zone too fast. Slow yourself down. For line, what I use is I use 15-pound Power Pro with a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. Again, with the FG knot, can't go wrong there. And the leader is usually around, I start it right around 10 feet, and then I work with between cutting knots and stuff. I work it up to about 5 feet, and then I'll cut it off and retie the leader. Always check your leader knot. Always check your knot tied on here. This thing's gonna be banging into rocks. You should really always be checking your knot, but especially with things that are gonna be in a lot of contact with stuff under a lot of strain. I don't want to see you break off at a big fish because I know how that feels, and that is not a good feeling. Anyways, that wraps it up for my breakdown of what worked for Nick this weekend. I'm really looking for you guys to give me input. I'm new to YouTube. I want to know what you guys want to see. So like, comment, and subscribe to me. Tell me what you want to see. I'll do what you guys want to do because I'm doing this, because I've learned so much from YouTube, and I want to see if I can contribute anything to make you guys better fishermen. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. See you next week.